Hello there, my name is Dante. This is a video about protecting yourself from negative energy. Ooh, scary, yucky. Negative energies, negative entities. This is something that I tend to get many questions about, and people come to me for sessions about knowingly or unknowingly. And it's something that I've had a lot of experience with in spirals and cycles as I've continued on my journey. I channel the Pleiadian consciousness, and I have relationships with my own guides and many energy forms and beings out there. I mostly like to focus on the beings of the light, as most of us do. Yet, on occasion, we find ourselves in places or around people where the vibration is not completely what we want. So this is a video about how you can focus on being in a place where you don't attract those things to you, and that you can open your channel in trust that you aren't going to attract anything that you don't actually want to be a part of your experience to you. Okay? So first of all, how do entities work? There are a lot of beings in many dimensions between our physical reality and source. And they express themselves as angels, as extraterrestrials, as the nature spirits, and many other beings that we can develop connections with. And we feel them first as this presence. The angels, the extraterrestrials, and the nature spirits all bring about a very loving presence. When you are in the presence of them, or in the presence of a person who has a strong connection to them, you feel a very deep and strong sense of unconditional love. You may see, especially with angels, wings fluttering about, or with extraterrestrials, some faces or some energy forms, some light patterns. And they can interact with you consciously, or for most people, what happens first is in the dream time they interact with you. Or for a lot of people in spaces where they're working with medicines, plant medicines, these beings will work with you. So, in order to have these interactions, you must be willing to have them. You must be desiring to have them. And in all dimensions, like attracts life, like the law of attraction plays out in every level. What you vibrate at are the beings that you will attract. If you are, in general, a very aggressive, violent person, you will attract spirits in other worlds that work in that way. And the truth of the matter is that many of these connections, most people are unaware of, and we all have these connections innately. We're all influenced and influencing these invisible forces all the time, whether we realize it or not. It's just that when we begin a journey of expanding our consciousness, of desiring more to know more of all that is and more of the unseen worlds, then these aspects of reality will begin to show themselves to us. So a lot of light workers will go on a quest initially of battling the darkness. The angels, the archangels, and all of these beings battle those demons and nasty ones and force them somewhere else. And the truth of the matter is, what I've learned from my teachers and what I've learned to be my truest experience is that protection is a prayer for more attack. So saying, "Dear universe, protect me from all of the negative energies," is actually saying, "Dear universe, my fun is in having an experience of having to protect myself. I love protecting myself. won't you share with me more things to protect myself from? And so protection is real. Psychic shields are real, though when it's kind of like this paranoid journey of like, which energies am I going to pick up if I go to this place and meet these people, you set yourself up for failure. And that's great. That's a learning experience. It's a learning experience I've had. So don't make yourself wrong if that is your experience. Just recognize that if you're in that journey of protection, if you're in the journey of asking for protection and in reality asking for more things to protect yourself from, great, realize that and move to the next level when you are ready. So when you are truly in deep connection with your source, and a deep connection with your source will be expressed as a feeling of unconditional love and excitement, that is the greatest way to know that you're connected to your source. And if you don't know how to connect to your source, the best thing to do is to just do in each moment what will bring you that feeling of love and connection. As you do that, you'll be much more connected to your source. So when you're in that state of connection, you are radiating light, you are overflowing light, and it's pouring through every cell of your body. It's pouring through every layer of your auric field. And in that state, none of these dark ones have anything to latch onto. What do the demons or the dark ones or the goblins or whatever you call them, what do they actually want? Well, they are aspects of source, aspects of all that is, that have chosen a belief system that makes them separate from all that is. They have chosen separation. They have chosen lack of connection to source. So they want to experience and receive energy from all that is through another avenue, through another perceived separate part of all that is. You can only attract to you a negative energy if you are believing in lack, if you are believing in separation, if you are believing that you are somehow in any way separate. Okay? So this is really simple, and I realized this recently, that if you look at the word black magic, it simplifies everything. Black magic is lack magic. Everything is magical. Our thoughts are magical. Our thoughts are prayers. Our thoughts send out in this dimension and many dimensions cooperative components. They attract to us cooperative components that bring about exactly what we're thinking about and desiring. So thoughts based in lack are black magic. It's that simple. When you are vibrating any sense of lack of self-worth, lack of resources, lack of relationships, lack of love, essentially, then you are sending out a prayer to meet another lower energy that will attract to you and meet you in that vibration of lack. And so the very best thing that you can do is to bring yourself into a state of connection to your source and love yourself. When you love yourself, you're in a connection to your source. If you are feeling that you are lacking and you are opening yourself in a ritual, in a ceremony, around a fire, or with a medicine to expanded consciousness, you will bring forth entities that also believe in lack, and they will create a parasitic symbiotic relationship with you that they get what they want and you get what you want, essentially. And this is how a lot of interactions play out in unconscious realms. There are these darker entities that will latch on to people, and they will help people get what they want in order to suck and siphon energy from them. It's not so fun. Though it is a good class and it is a good lesson. So how do you understand if you are being influenced in this way or psychically attacked? For me, this has happened a lot in the past, and once recently when I was in a more lower vibration. I was looking at everything that was wrong with something and opposing something outside of me. And in that state, I would feel that there's this thing coming to me, it's feeding me all of these thoughts, and after this would happen in short periods of time and then end and disappear, and then eventually I got to a point where I realized that all of these thoughts that were being, that I was thinking, were not actually originating from the real me. They were what I was attracting to me in the form of these entities coming to me, giving me these thoughts by offering a vibration of opposition. So if you are finding yourself in lower states of consciousness, if you are finding that you are feeling so disconnected and that there's something draining of you of energy, there probably is. So the very best thing that you can do is to, first of all, again, do what makes you feel joyful, do what makes you feel that you're in your flow, that you're in connection to Source, and that you're just full of love. And set an intention to meet beings that can match you in that loving frequency. Like attracts like, and your thoughts are prayers. So just by holding a thought form to connect with the Archangelic, with the Pleiadian, with the Sirian, with the Arcturian, with any of these beings, and setting aside time to meditate, take a walk, play music, listen to music, or do essentially whatever you feel called to do, these beings can interact with you and share energy whenever you're in that state of connection and doing what you love. And you can feel their presence as waves of energy moving through you, of spontaneous insight, of thoughts that come and just make a lot of sense to you. Oftentimes in these higher states, when we get downloads, so to speak, or spontaneous knowings, it's yes, arising from us, as we ourselves are all that is, though it's arriving from a connection to another component of all that is, another higher being that will share with us that spontaneous insight. And as you choose to take that time to connect with the beings of the light, to listen to messages of the Pleiadians, of whoever you really feel that resonance with, that will help you to be more in that state of loving connection to your Source. If it doesn't feel good, it's probably not exactly what you want. Though initially, for a lot of people, they, myself included, to an extent, there is a lot of fear that comes with even connecting to the light beings, because we have had these thoughts of, per se, the dark ones or the dark forces that control the governments or whoever they may be. I don't want to use names, because these, I mean, it's all very real, it's all out there. Yet, this is where the power of focus is so important. Because if you focus on these so-called dark ones, they will come into your experience. They will be real in your experience. And the best way to really release any of these connections is to focus on something else. And it may seem like, oh, you're just denying it or avoiding it, and that's not necessarily true. When we connect with the beings of the light, we get more light, we get more connection to our Source. And when we connect with those who have chosen to believe in separation, we get more separation, we get more resistance. So it really is just as simple as choosing where to place your focus in terms of how you can refine which connections develop for you. There was more I wanted to say about this. So where do these entities come from? That's also a great interest, and this is something I'm learning about as well. Though a lot of the negative energies out there come to us from other planets, such as Mars or Pluto, where there is a tremendous store of old energies from an intergalactic conflict in which our solar system was involved. And so when you come to realize that these connections, if you have them, do come from your other lifetimes, do come from moments where you've been greatly traumatized, it is a lot easier to release yourself from them and know that you don't have to continue the pattern. What you can ask to any entity or any presence you feel, and you'll hear the response with your own thoughts. So your own thoughts are receiving devices. They just seem like they're your own, and you are partially in control of them. You can get a sense that you know that some of the thoughts you're thinking are originating from within you, and then outside, from your higher self or from other entities, there's the response in the forms of other thoughts that may seem like just a voice inside your head. If you refine your awareness, you'll notice they have a different tone to them. So when you get in contact with certain presences, always ask, are you of the light? And universal law states that these beings must respond. If you get a no to that first question, command them to leave. So the second question, are you in service to others? Are you in service to Great Spirit? However you want to term that. Service to others is a very safe way to do it. If you want to use service to all that is, also perfect. Then if they respond yes, then you can continue that interaction. If they respond no, that is a sign that it is a distorted or lower energy, and you can command instantly to leave and command Archangel, whoever you have a connection with, or another presence to help you reestablish your higher frequency. If you are helping another person who has been possessed, meaning that this other energy has gotten so close to them or influenced them to such a degree that it's speaking through them, entering their body vessel or something of the sort, then you have to take the step a little bit further. You have to take some further action. And in this case, you would ask them, who are you? What's your name? So that they can establish themselves as some individuated aspect of Source. Ask them their name and start speaking to them kindly. And then ask them, where are you from? Then you can proceed to ask them, do you realize that what you're doing right now is hurting this person you are possessing, attacking? And then ask them, do you realize that you are hurting yourself by doing this? And these processes of honest self-reflection will help these entities who most of the time don't even realize that their disconnection from Source is causing them such pain, to choose another option. So you can offer to them, I'm creating a pillar of light for you, and you can visualize just probably 10 feet away from you, or 3 meters away from you, a brilliant column of light that extends from the center of the Earth to the center of the galaxy. And say to this entity, I've created a pillar of light for you, and you will create it just by visualizing and intending that it's there, and say, would you like to step through this pillar of light? And then ask that the entity does so. If this doesn't work for you, then I suggest that you connect with some other mediums or psychics or intuitives who may help you closer with this. So there are some elemental level precautions or tools that you can use to keep your energy clean and ward off these spirits. White sage, copal, frankincense, myrrh, any high vibration incense will help you in creating a clear space. Stones such as black tourmaline, black obsidian are very helpful. blue kyanite, as well as tektites such as moldavite. I keep moldavite around me all the time. Some people will have a detox or over-energized reaction to this stone at first. And if I promise that if you cooperate with this process, you will find much more love and joy if you just allow these high vibration stones and energies to work with you more closely. So keeping these around can help you, though again, when working with power objects or tools, you must understand that it is for you to raise your own resonance. It's not to fight, combat, or get rid of something. Because when you use that energy of getting rid of, warding off, fighting, you will attract more things to fight. And I've met a lot of supposed healers and entity releasers out there who will command the entities to go back to hell where they belong. And this always hurt me a lot. This makes me really upset because hell is a creation of the mind. It's real in the sense that our mental faculties can create such a realm for us, though it is not a it's only an option, and no entity or being must struggle in that way. That sending an entity back to some supposed hell or dark realm from which it emerged is not the path. We want to help all of the negative energies and entities to return to source. Negativity is only a distortion. All is light, and the darkness is distorted light. So when you have that awareness, it's easier to love them. It's easier to love the demons. And for me, that has been the way that I've seen work the best. You have to love the demons within you and outside of you if you are going to actually heal. You have to first know that a wound inside of you that has chosen, that is essentially your choice to believe in a separation from source, is the only thing that can attract to you such negativity. Okay? And so the work is inside, and dealing with the goblins outside is only a permission slip to help heal that wound. And it's a very necessary thing to do if those guys are floating around. But understand that you are responsible for attracting such a thing to you. Hands down. And if you don't own that responsibility and you keep believing that you're being attacked by something you're in no means control of, then you are just caught in a loop. And I've worked with people like this, and the most loving thing that I've had to do with this is just be like, look, you're responsible for this, and if you're not willing to own that, then I can't help you. And that was a big initiation for me in understanding that and taking my understanding of that to the next level. So you are responsible and you are in control on the physical plane and on the higher planes, and you are, in a sense, much more in control on the higher planes in which you exist. You have much more sovereignty, and you have much more of a choice of which ones you interact with. So understanding that and owning that gives you more power to choose love. All is love, and unconditional love is the theme of this world, this universe. So choose love. Always choose love. If there was a simplified response of how to work with these negative entities, it would be just choose love. And things will change. So I'm going to end this video now, and if you have further questions about this theme, please write to me, and I might elaborate upon further explorations of this idea. And of course I will be continuing to post more videos. So if this has inspired you in any way, please feel free to look through the rest of my YouTube channel, now called Be Bliss, and my Facebook page, Dante Singh. I am happy to share with you, and I offer personal guidance or counseling sessions. as well as channeling sessions where you can directly interact with the Pleiadians, who may answer your questions and help you in raising your vibration. And they have I've posted a lot of channelings of them already on my page that you can check out, and please share that with others. If this work has really inspired you and helped you in some profound way, I really encourage you to donate to me through my website, blissbeings.com. That's greatly appreciated, and it helps me so much in continuing to give and share unconditionally. So I thank you so much and hope that this has helped you a great deal. I wish you the greatest day ever and share my infinite love and blessings with you. Sat Nam Namaste and Aho.